Right, so I did not want to record the last game, the game before this one, because I lost and I realized that the guy I played against had more than 20,000 ranked games, and I thought it didn't make much sense for me to post it, given that I have at this point less than 30 ranked games, so it wasn't really, fair. But anyway, here's this game. Spoiler alert, I'm going to lose after a really good start. Um, because of my own, I don't know, overestimation of my capabilities, I suppose. And here's what happened. I'm going to speed it up for just a second here. As per usual, my engineers are, already on their way to cap everything here and on this side here. And I'm about to get my Jeep out. And it's a really short game through my own fault. Anyway, here's the Jeep, and the infantry should be in production right about now too. And as per usual, the Jeep is, putting pressure on these units. I know that he has guys here that he's going to move in, so I'm preparing at this point already to take the Jeep back. Which I do, because I don't want to lose it. But what's going to happen now is that I'm going to push him in this early game very effectively, I would say. And I'm speeding it up, as you can see, because nothing's really happening at this point, aside from my guys capping. And at this point I use my Jeep as recon, and I can see that he has 2 units here, which means that I can just go on and cap everything here, and nobody can touch me, right? And once again, I need to pull the Jeep back, because he's definitely going to die to these two squads of false grenadiers. And I don't manage to do it, but this isn't that big of a deal in my opinion. It's just, unlucky. But right now I'm going to push this guy, and I'm going to push him away. I'm going to push him back to his base. I'm getting my rifleman here into this green cover, which is super important. He knows that he doesn't stand a chance at this point, so he, retreats. I'm pressing on both sides. It's a pincer maneuver, and he has to retreat. And this is very good. But what happened next is pretty much my downfall, and that is me thinking that instead of solidifying my defenses for a counterattack, which I knew was inbound at any moment, I decided to start capping everything. And that's what I'm doing right now, as you can see. I'm capping here, then I quit so I could, help out here. But you're going to see throughout this entire game that instead of fighting, I chose to cap territory, which is idiotic, because these guys already had veterancy, right? Because he had a Kampkraft center here. And since they already had veterancy, theoretically, I should have realized that I'm on the back foot, even though I won that first engagement where I pushed them all back. But instead of doing that, I'm sending my 6 new riflemen to cap this. I honestly do not understand my own logic in this thinking. I should not have done that. But it is what it is. My riflemen barely make it out, and now I went from having 2 rifle squads, which were I think 5 and 6 members, to having 2 rifle squads that are barely alive, and 1 healthy rifle squad. And I immediately started building a triage center and a supply yard. Thanks to the early accumulation of fuel, I can afford that. But as you can see, I have the majority of the territory, and the entire map is mine, right? And I just kind of overestimated my own, I want to say, intake of resources. I wanted to rush the win somehow, and that was pretty bad on my part. Because as you can see now, I did not manage to make him bleed enough when it comes to manpower. And he now has 3, 4, he has 4 veteran C1 False Grenadier squads, and I have 3 0 veterancy vanilla rifleman squads, and that's just nowhere near enough to beat him. And at this point, I'm realizing that I should fight back instead of just focusing on territory. But at this point, it's kind of too late because I had that opportunity very early on where I should have pressed with my 3 fully healed, fully ready to fight rifle team. I spotted that mine, by the way, in the early game, but I never did it because I'm an idiot, I guess. And at this point, all I had were these riflemen, and he had more riflemen. They had veterancy. They were pretty much better at their jobs in every possible way. And I completely forgot about that squad, by the way. That's going to die right here. That's my bad. And at this point, it's pretty much good game. I don't even realize it. I'm not even realizing it at this point, but it was pretty much GG right here. I wanted to put an observation post here so I could get a fast M8. Completely pointless loss of men by me. Although in my defense, my internet glitched for some reason right about here, like 10 seconds earlier, and it didn't stop until now. So this grenade, it was, I issued the order to throw this grenade before the glitch, and then I couldn't stop them from throwing it because of my internet. So, I mean, that's a poor excuse, but it did happen inside of my hands, really. He has a sniper on the field now, obviously. 1 kill on him. He's gonna get plenty of kills by the end of the game. He has these 3 base squads that were here the entire game. He has another squad here, which was also here more or less the entire game. 7 kills, 4 kills, 5 kills, 3 kills. And at this point, he's starting to regain the territory that I had previously got, and I fell down to 2 rifleman squads. This part of my territory is cut off because I lost this point right here. And they're, you know, doing what they're supposed to do, you know, destroying the OP. I wanna cut it out, but I'm gonna be met by an overwhelming force. No, actually, I'm going to win this engagement, but it's not going to mean much because I'm not going to, as I said, throughout the entire game, I'm never making him bleed enough manpower. And even though this is a good grenade, although I think it should have been more effective, at no point did I make him bleed enough manpower. This 4-man squad evacuates, you know, it retreats as a 4-man squad. This 3-man squad remains a 3-man squad. At no point did he lose more than 2 soldiers per unit, which is very bad for me, you know. And that's pretty much what decided the game. It might be a little bit of RNG, but it's mostly just bad combat management for me. I issued that grenade order, and then I looked away here for just a second, and it was too late for me to stop it from going in. I'm making that M8 right now, and I barely have a rifle squad left. And that M8 is going to come out now. These engineers are actually going to do a lot of damage. I'm grateful for them. The sniper is going to be annoying, as you usually know. The M8 should be doing better here, I believe. Still doesn't have the 50 cal off top, though. The fact that he doesn't even get 1 kill and they're already in like 30% health, it's pretty insane for me, but, you know, that's just my opinion. Either way, I'm not trying to blame the game, I'm just saying that it's maybe a little bit of RNG luck there, but it's still overall my fault. Once again, not a single kill here. I think he's gonna kill one of the engineers now, though. We'll see. Nope, they get away clean. These guys are gonna retreat. Obviously, they know that they're in for a losing fight with the flamethrower against the flamethrowers and the rifles, but that doesn't mean much. I'm gonna get double track here and survive. Finally, the first kill. It only took him like 200 rounds. Second kill. But that's pretty much it. He pushed me back so fast and I lost. This was like a very good lesson in poor survival rates, like how much they can decide a game. Because as you can see, if you take a look at his squads, he has all 4 of his starting squads of false grenadiers. And he now has obviously a sniper, a second sniper. He has both of his pioneers, and he has an anti-tank gun, and he has a Goliath, which I managed to detect because he didn't use the option to hide him. I don't know why, but he didn't. And I lost pretty much everything. So this was very poor game management in my part, and very poor man management in combat. And I think that it all stems from that decision, if you remember, in the early game, when I decided for some reason, after winning that initial combat engagement, I decided to push for more territory here and here instead of making like a defensive structure here, you know, and keeping the central territory right here. And that was honestly, at that point, once I made that decision to push for territory, it was pretty much GG, because territory doesn't really mean much if you're not making your enemy bleed power. Sure, you're making them bleed resources, which is good, but you need to make them bleed manpower at the same time. By the way, my mate is about to go full retard right now and show his ass to the anti-tank gun. I don't know why he did that. But basically, yeah, that's GG. No words, honestly. It was just really, really poor at this point. But either way, GG to the opponent.